here today is get that couple crap out of there and get the vac underneath the silo, and then finish getting the vac hooked up to the silo, and then get the 4640 and get it back here and see how it fits. I don't know what to do with this summer. I'll get a scrap bin, clean these woods out. Everybody keeps bringing stuff back here. Well, if you want it, come get it. If not, it's going in the scrap bin. And we cleaned out the old dairy barn. When I did that, we got all the stanchions and stuff over here. The plan is to back this under the pipe back there by the harvester. That's kind of where it's going to sit for now. Dane from Wallamingot, Indiana, he had called, or I called him, he had left a message on one of my posts saying he does a bunch of these every year. So I called him for some tips and tricks, and he had a bunch of good ideas. But because of where I'm at this year, I cannot take advantage of many of his ideas. So yeah, he had a good idea, which then so what he was saying is just kind of how vacs work. If I wanted to add some capacity to this vacuum, getting it up the silo was get the vac away and get some horizontal run. And I thought, boy, that's a good idea. I don't know how I'll get that to work, but yeah, that's a good idea. Well, then I got thinking about it, and I'm like, if we're ever going to pull from the crop store to the harvester, transfer dry grain to dry grain, boy, I ought to just take and come off the harvester with the manifold, just come down with a piece of pipe along here, along the ground, so then the grain vac gets parked where the 4020 is, and then you can just, the bin gets full, you unload, because the grain vac would keep up to about that unloading auger of that silo. And so, I don't know why my hand's shaking. Come out of that crop store, into the grain vac, out the pipe, up to there, and then have another little secondary pipe off of this silo, come down here, and then be able to hook into the vac here so we can do soybeans in this bin. But that's down the road. For this year, I need to just simply, because to hook up to this particular vac to blower, I need a little pipe for down there. I can't just rotate that pipe and hook on that way. I'd have to jig something up to keep that pipe. Otherwise, they've got another kit to give me a coupler down there to hook to normal pipe. But yeah, so that's that. So I'm close here, so I need just to, I think I'm pretty close. I just got to go forward a few inches. I've got my angle right, so the tractor, I think if the 44 is off here, then there'd be enough room to come by and stuff. So let's get that 4020 out of the way. So he's kind of in place, at least he's out of the way. Now I can drive through here, because we'll come in, we'll dump in him, combine until, dumping him till that's refilled. And then we'll come around the circle and start dumping in the harvester. Still haven't got that unloader unfroze yet. I haven't worked on it. The pipe kind of took priority, but I think I can sneak through here with the tractor. Yeah. So let's go get some of our stuff. There he is. There's two pipes there. There's a big 6-inch to come off the grain vac, the flex pipe. Comes off the vac to the ground. I'll hook to that straight pipe. The straight pipe will run under the tractor, and then the last little, the 5-inch, then the smaller, lighter 5-inch suction or 5-inch pipe then will hook there, and then, you know, down the pathways we'll have the dumping station. So that's the plan for now. My biggest obstacle is still getting that stupid unloader out of there. It is just not coming out, but I got the new oxygen tank, so I'll set this stuff down and grab that oxygen tank and get back here and get cutting and see if we can't get that unloader to pop today. Right, so this flex hose gets attached. This is just the weather storage cover, so moisture, you know. That pipe flange just vice grips onto here, and then I'll just measure the height of this pipe to here, because it bands then, just like the other bands, and then whatever that dimension is, go up and cut this pipe off. And then this, we can move this out. That moves. So, yeah, I just do that and get the 4-inch and cut that off, and then we'd be hooked up. That flex pipe then gives a little bit of leeway. You know how that goes. Golly, look at that. Look at that cut up here on the ladder. By golly. Then did a little chamfer here because there's a rubber inside that band. There's a rubber sleeve that's sometimes hard, so you give a nice little chamfer there. Oh, baby. It's going to go something like that. I don't want to hook it. I don't have vice grips here ready today, so I'll leave the cap on. I'll get a couple vice grips and just designate them to this project. But that's pretty much the gist of it. And away we go. Still got to get a couple straps up on the roof to finish guiding the gooseneck, just to hold it into place and get the silo gooseneck down so grain don't come out the end and spray a little bit to help guide the corn in. But hey, for the most part, we just got to hook up and go. So I'll get that suction pipe here and see. Well, maybe I'll leave that off until I get the tractor hooked up. It can sit there. I'll get the tractor hooked up, and that can get put on when everything's ready to go. Knock some branches down off of these trees that might potentially scratch the cab of the 4640. Well, by golly, guys, now it's back to this unloader. I'll go get my crescent wrench, and we'll swap this tank out and get in and get cutting. Well, there we go, guys. This side is done. Now, I think the sweep arm is frozen somewhere. Go figure. What it is on the ratchet crank, you can see in the sunlight out there, it's a little shaft to a bevel gear, a long shaft to another bevel gear, and we don't know where it's froze. We're thinking down here would be the most logical choice because of the most wet feed running around. But yeah, we'll let me pry and bang on that for a little bit and see if I can't get it to move, and we'll go from there.